Bjarke Ingo, thank you very much for being with us. You just gave us a great presentation about the role of architecture in the development of a city. Can you explore a little more about the role of an architecture in connecting people?
Yeah, I mean, I think sort of profoundly sort of architecture is sort of the art and science of continually refurbishing the surface of our planet so it actually fits to the way we want to live. And you know, if our cities and our buildings don't really fit to our lifestyle, and as our sort of lifestyle changes and as sort of society evolves, we constantly have to sort of remodify and make sure that our cities actually fit to this life. In a way, you can say that sort of the immaterial institutions of society, like political, social, economic institutions, we sort of help translating them into physical form and sort of creating the physical framework for human life.
Okay, do you think there's a relation between ugly cities and depressed societies?
I mean, it's a tricky one. I mean, I think we rarely talk much about beauty or ugly. Because I think one of the main problems of the architectural debate is that it quite often remains on just looking at the final result, sort of contemplating the architectural object. Is it beautiful? Is it ugly? Does it look like something I know, or does it look strange? Rather, I'm much more into this idea of what a building or a city actually does for its inhabitants. Like, how does it channel the flow of people through its streets or its spaces, and does it trigger social encounters? Does it create places where people like to hang out? Does it provide qualities such as, you know, something as banal as like what if you could have an apartment where you can actually run out into the garden and play even though you're living on the 10th floor? So in a way, sort of, I think it's much more interesting to see the architecture as a tool or an instrument for human life. And basically, I like this basic idea that architecture is not the goal, but the bridge to reach that goal.
Can you explore a little more on that? The bridge to...
Yeah, no, it's essentially. I mean, I borrowed it from Nietzsche talking about philosophy, but let's say like the purpose of an architect or architecture is not to produce more architecture, but it is to use the architecture as a means to reach an end, and the end is sort of the maximum unfolding of human life. So in a way, quite often when we start a project, we try to observe what do people want, what do they like to do. Is the normal city or the normal building stopping them from doing it, or is it actually allowing them to do it? And how could we sort of manipulate and transform our cities so they actually create more possibilities for human life instead of restricting it and sort of putting it into separate boxes?
All right, so we can tell that architecture can resolve conflicts?
Yeah, actually I think specifically that the media loves conflict. Like, it's always more fun to write about somebody fighting than somebody being in harmony. And as a result, politicians that require media presence to be remembered on election day, they somehow also engage in conflicts where they sort of constantly say the opposite of the other politicians so they can get some coverage. And I think design and architecture actually has the potential to analyze differences and try to sort of incorporate all these different demands, like the neighbors that are afraid that a new building is going to cast a shadow on them, the local people that would like to have like sun and good views, and maybe some kids in the neighborhood that would like to have a public park. And you basically try to take all these different demands, the developer who wants to make a profit, and instead of like seeing it as a conflict that is resolved into sort of opposition and stalemate, to tie together into integrated symbiotic relationships. Like a specific example is we did this project that is like hybrid of a parking structure and an apartment building, something you would normally see as opposites. But by combining them, the parking becomes like almost like a mountain upon which you can build homes that are almost like houses with gardens. So in a way, in the middle of flat Copenhagen, we could use the volume of the cars to create almost like a south-facing slope with a view. So essentially, constantly to try to find these potentials for symbiosis and try to combine things and exploit the differences rather than separating them.